Alright, we're going to use the rib tool, and with the profile highlighted in blue, we're going to select the extrusion profile, and with the center curve highlighted, we're going to select the joggle profile. What this will do is it'll extrude the extrusion profile along the center curve, which is the joggle profile. And here we have the part body of the joggled extrusion. I'm going to show you a Excel spreadsheet that I created, which lists the different aluminum extrusions, and you'll notice the second row here that's highlighted contains the constraints in our sketch. I'm going to use the design table to import that Excel spreadsheet. And I'm just going to add no comment here in the comments section and select OK, and it'll ask us, since I said create one from a pre-existing file, I'm going to select the table spreadsheet, which is the one that I showed you earlier, and you open that and it'll import that. It's going to ask us if we want to automatically associate, and we say yes, and we're going to create our associations here on the Associations tab. And what this will do is it'll associate the parameters to our columns. So I'm looking for our parameter T1 length, and I'm going to select T1 and click the associate button, and I'm just going to repeat this process. Now CATIA V5 has a lot of different parameters, and the reason we renamed a lot of the constraints previously was to recognize and help us to select those names from this list. And you'll notice that that spreadsheet in the heading column that it had, or the heading row, it had all the constraint names the same as our constraints in the sketch. Now, the valuable thing about the Excel spreadsheet is it allows us to quickly change the constraints and dimensions of our joggled extrusion rather than going into the sketch and changing the constraints individually. And so it's very KnowledgeWare is a very time-saving tool. Now you don't have to use a Excel spreadsheet. It can be any spreadsheet. And I've got one more here to go. And so we're typically looking for a parameter of length or radius. And you can widen this window. Since I only have one more, I'll just leave the window size the same, but it's just like any window, you just expand it out. And for the last one, I'm going to create a parameter, and I'm just going to use a string, and this basically allows us to view the extrusion number in the specification tree. So I'm going to narrow these columns, and notice these are the numbers that are in our spreadsheet. And the highlighted one is the current one. I'm going to select OK, and I'm going to change the design table name to extrusion table, and this will appear in the specification tree. But before it appears in the specification tree, we have to select that option. So we go into the Tools option window, and we go to the product functional definition, and we want to show the relation. And it still doesn't appear, so we have a couple of other things to select in our options table window. go to parameters and measures, and here we're going to select with value and with formula. And I personally like to surround that symbol with a single quote. And there's one other option that we need to select before it'll appear in the specification tree. And that's under the Tools options, and it's going to be the part infrastructure. So we go to Tools options, and we'll go to the infrastructure, and it'll be under part infrastructure, and it'll be under the display tab. And we want to display in specification tree the parameters button, and the relations button needs to be selected. Select OK, and it'll appear in the specification tree. And indeed, we have the extrusion number, and we have the extrusion table with configuration equal to 1. So if we double click on the extrusion table, it'll bring up our table window, and notice number 1 is in brackets or carets, and that is the current parameters that it's using. Now if we select 4, notice that the part goes to red. It needs to be updated, and as we select that, I have my options to be automatically updated, so it automatically updates, and notice that our part is updated, and also the parameters in the specification tree is updated, such as the extrusion number. The extrusion number is now 60-13028, and the configuration is equal to 4 and not 1. So we can double click on it again and change it back, and it updates, and the extrusion number also updates. So very handy tool.